Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny. Today's video is going to be a full face using mostly Makeup Geek products. Of course, Makeup Geek doesn't have concealers or foundations or anything like that yet. I've heard that they are coming out with some eventually, but I do have at least one of most of their products, I think. I have eyeshadows. I have lots of their eyeshadows. They're my favorite eyeshadow formula. I have their contours, a bronzer, some highlights, a blush, some lip products. So I do have a very well-rounded Makeup Geek collection, and I kind of wanted to showcase some of them because I really love Makeup Geek a lot. They're a really good brand. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in and we'll start with the eyes. So I have two big Z palettes of eyeshadows, but I did narrow it down to a handful of shadows to use today. So this is the palette that I will be using, and I think that these colors are really nice, really warm, really fun together. So I will tell you the shade names as we go along in this tutorial. So I have already primed my eyes, and so I'm going to go in with the shade Beaches and Cream just to set the primer down. Going into the shade Chickadee, I'm going to take that into my crease and slightly down onto the lid a little bit, but mostly focusing this shade in the crease. Now going into the shade Early Bird, which is just a slightly darker version of Chickadee, I'm going to do the exact same thing, but focusing it more kind of like lower in the crease and lid. Taking just a tiny bit more Chickadee, I am going to kind of maybe take it up just a little bit higher. Now I'm going into the shade Tan Lines with that same brush and doing the exact same thing that I did with Early Bird, just keeping it kind of lower than Chickadee. So now I'm going to go into the foiled shade called Curtain Call on my finger, and I'm going to pat this all over the lid. So now that I've packed that on with my finger, I'm going to go into a flat kind of packing brush to just kind of put it in those places that my fingers are too big for. And then I'm going to kind of just brush it up into the crease a little bit because we are going to blend that out. Taking that brush that we used for all the crease colors, I am just going to blend the edges out. Taking another flat brush, I'm going to go into the shade Legend. It's another foiled shadow, and I'm going to put that right on the center of my eye. I'm going to take my pinky finger and just take some of that Legend, just so it'll be a little more poppy. Now I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. liquid liner and do a very thin line on the top. Taking a flat definer brush and going into the shade Corrupt, lightly, I'm just going to kind of smoke out the edges of that liner. And I'm going to kind of focus that smokiness out here. I'm going to kind of keep this area in here a little more neat and clean, just to kind of keep it neat and clean, I don't know. But focusing that smokiness just right out here. Lightly, just lightly flicking it up in the corner just to kind of give a little more depth to the corner, but not making like a wing or anything. Taking a clean flat definer brush, I am going to just kind of buff that out more, but without the color, it'll make it a little more smoky instead of adding more color, you know? Does that make sense? Maybe not. So now I'm going to go back in with a little more Chickadee and Early Bird, because I just feel like the crease isn't as deep as I want it to be. And a little bit more of the Tan Lines shade maybe. So to deepen the crease up a little more, I'm going to go in with a small brush and a teeny tiny bit of Bitten and put that out here in the crease a little bit. So this is the top part of the eye look. I'm going to go ahead and put on my foundation and concealer and my eyebrows, and I'll be right back to finish the rest of the look. So I did go ahead and finish the rest of my face as well as my brows. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of the eye look. So going into the shades Chickadee and Early Bird, just kind of mixing the two. I'm going to take that all along the lower lash line. So now taking a little bit of Tan Lines, and I'm just going to focus that, like, I'm not going to take it all as far as I did the other two, but I do want this to be on most of the lower lash line. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of Bitten and just put that on like the outer half, kind of. Mostly just wherever I put Tan Lines is where this is going to go. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some black liner in the waterline, and now I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of Corrupt and just kind of smoke it into that liner as close to the lash line as I can get. So I tried to apply a little bit more waterline eyeliner and got a bunch right down here. So the bottom lash line just got real smoky real quick. But I don't hate it. So happy accident, I suppose. So now I'm going to put on some lower lash mascara, and then we will go ahead into the rest of the face. So first I'm going to start off with contour. For the contours, I'm using the shade Infidelity, which is the Cool Fair contour shade, and I'm mixing that in with the Warm Fair Bad Habit shade. So I'll just go into a mixture of both of those. To bronze, I'll be going in with the Fair Skin bronzer in the shade Sunkissed. So the only Makeup Geek blush that I have is the old formula and the old packaging, and it is the shade Spellbound. It's this nice kind of like neutrally pinky shade. This is one of my all-time favorite blushes, and they do still make this in their new formula. I just haven't had a chance to pick it up yet. This blush I don't think is going to go great with this look, so I am going to mix it with this warm Elf shade. For highlight today, I'm going to be using the Makeup Geek and KathleenLights collaboration, and I'm actually going to take this darker shade first, which is the shade Nightlight. Put this right on the tops of the cheekbones. They do have this palette on sale, but they also have one labeled as damaged, and it is cheaper than the sale price too. So I ordered some damaged eyeshadows at the discounted price, and I didn't see anything wrong with them. So I mean, they may technically be damaged, but they're still really good quality. If you're interested in this palette, I definitely pick it up because it's only like $18 or $19 damaged, and then it's only $25 if you want it to be not damaged too. So it seems like a pretty good deal to me. So now I'm going into the shade Sunlight, which is the more yellow one, and I'm going to put that right on top to make this more bright. I'm also going to take the light yellowy kind of shade on a tiny detail brush and use it as inner corner highlight today. So first I'm going to go into the Plush cream in the shade Jetsetter, this nice nudie brown. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Plush matte in the shade Soccer Mom, just kind of on top to tone down the brown and make it a little more neutral. So this is the final look. I really like how it turned out actually, even with that extra smokiness on the lower lash line. I really wanted to do this video because I love Makeup Geek a lot. They're a really good brand with excellent quality products. I do have a lot of other Makeup Geek shadows. If you would like to see more of my Makeup Geek eyeshadow collection and like in depth and stuff, let me know and I will do that for you. So that's all that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you would like to subscribe, please feel free, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.